Hello, hello. Thank you so much for dropping in to Healing Body, Mind, and Soul. This is Aeriol, your host, and today I have the pleasure and opportunity to interview Matt Parry. Now, Matt is so interesting. I'll let him tell his story, but he has a company called the Good Crisp Company, and you're really going to like this story and really going to want to lean in and listen to what he's doing. I love his underdog story and how he's taking on some really big players to live his dream. So, Matt, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Where are you tuning in from, Matt?
So I am here in beautiful, sunny Boulder, Colorado.
Ah, Boulder, Colorado. Got it. I have lived in Colorado, believe it or not. When I was a child, I lived in Colorado Springs, but that's a different part. But I have never been to Boulder.
Oh, it's
So
a beautiful place, beautiful mountains here, and really the hub of natural food. That's how I've ended up here.
yes, I've heard that in Boulder there's a great mindset and a great health community.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really good. Really focused on healthy living and healthy products. So it's an amazing place to be.
That's wonderful. So how did the Good Crisp Company get started? I'm so curious.
Yeah, definitely. So the idea started about 5 years ago for me when I was still living in Australia. And the Good Chris Company is a better for you alternative to Pringles, essentially. So a canister chip that tastes like it, looks like it, but we just take a lot of the nasty stuff out. So really, that's where the idea started for me. At the time, I was trying to work through my food allergy issues and focusing what I was eating and wasn't eating and looking all of that. And if you or your listeners have ever done that process, it's a fairly involved one of trying to find out what's not making you feel great. So it was really looking at the food I was eating. And the second part of it was I had three young daughters, and so it was also really focusing on the snacks we were giving them and looking at what food we were giving our children and realizing that, the food that we grew up with, tasted great, but it probably wasn't the greatest thing to be eating. And I didn't really want to be giving it to my kids and continuing that cycle. So I thought there's got to be a better alternative out there for canister chips, a better option. And I looked around the world and I couldn't find anything. And I thought, well, maybe I should make one up for myself.
I like the way you think, and I like your ingenuity. Now, why specifically canister chips?
Well, it was just something. I mean, I enjoyed eating Pringles. I
Pringles were
like
the
that
one.
sort of that product. The canister is great for parents. You take it on hikes. It doesn't take up much room in the bag, and it's something fun. And the kids certainly all wanted it. So it was just for me one of those products that I really enjoyed eating, but didn't feel comfortable with what was available at the moment.
Got it. Got it. So what you say, your chips don't have the nasties in it. What particularly are the nasties that we're eliminating? It sounds awful. Like
Yeah,
I really want to,
exactly.
I'm going to have to go get some Pringles and take a look. Can you divulge some of the things that are in
Definitely.
there?
Well, I can tell you about what our product is, certified gluten-free. So other canister chips, they use flour and other fillers and things like that to sort of make their product a bit cheaper, whilst we just use more potato. So we don't have any gluten in our flavoring. So that's one thing. We use certified non-GMO ingredients as well. Make sure the ingredients in the product that we're using contain no GMOs in them. And then we don't have any artificial flavor enhancers, MSG, any of those other sort of chemicals. We just use natural flavorings and if we need any natural coloring. So it's just going back to a more natural and a more cleaner product versus sort of a more chemical and laboratory enhanced product.
I love the way you say laboratory. I love that accent of yours. Do you have different flavors? Now, I haven't done a lot of research about your product, so tell me what you're doing with it. Tell me, going up against Pringles is huge, right? I mean, you're really an underdog here.
We are
But I
definitely.
think
So
the timing is so perfect, and I think the market is hungry for something like this.
Yeah.
That was an intentional pun.
I was going to say, excuse the pun. Yeah, perfect. No, we love puns here. We're always saying, lots of different puns. So no, fantastic. Look, yeah, our product, we are the underdog here, but we just think that Americans, and where I'm from in Australia as well, where we sell it, we love chips, we love snacks, but you're right. As a population, we're moving away from just mindlessly putting anything into our bodies and actually looking at, what are we eating and can we be doing better? So, I mean, I'm the first to admit our product is still a potato chip. We're still a snack. We're not a health food, but,
Right,
if you want a snack or your kids are asking for that kind of product, why not, just trade up and have a better for you option than what's available. So really that's the positioning of our product. We come in a couple of different flavors. We have original, sour cream and onion, a barbecue flavor. We're launching a salt and vinegar and an aged white cheddar and a few other flavors early next year. So, we're starting to get some good flavors out there. We're sold right across the country, from Whole Foods to Walmart to most natural grocery stores. So, we're in about 10,000 stores now across the country. So it's starting to get out there.
And does production all take place in Boulder there?
So our product is actually manufactured in Malaysia, just to add to the international arm of everything that we do. So when I first started looking for a manufacturer to make the product, we couldn't find any. There's very few people in the world that make canister chips, none in the US, none in Australia. So we had to look around, and I had a contact of a very high tech and quality company in Malaysia that makes some really fantastic snacks, and was able to partner with them and develop these healthier products. And so we bring them out of Malaysia and sell them all around the world.
That's amazing. I just had a guest on recently who is doing, with the True Foods company, doing sugar-free barbecue sauces and sriracha sauces. And I just love this whole turn towards making something that we're already consuming into something, a healthier choice. Because I don't think you're going to change people's minds overnight that they're just going to suddenly stop eating these things, right? It's pretty ingrained in our culture.
Definitely, and especially when we start, our product is eaten a lot by children, and especially with kids. I mean, you can get the healthiest product in the world, some seaweed snack or something like that. But if it's not tasty, if it isn't something they feel comfortable eating, it doesn't matter how healthy it is. It's going to keep coming back in the lunchbox, or it's not going to get eaten. So we try and find that balance between the two of those. That it still tastes, it's still comfortable food. It's what we know, but it's a healthier alternative and a little bit better for us. So that's where we sort of position ourselves, definitely.
That's wonderful. And have you always been in food production, or what is your background that you decided to take on this endeavor?
Yeah, so my background has been in food and grocery, which did help us to be able to sort of get this up and running. I think it would have been very difficult if I didn't have a background in that. But so I worked in a company where we imported brands and healthy snacks from all around the world, and we sold them into the Australian market. So I'd been dealing with grocery outlets and warehousing and stores and food for the last 10 years. So I had some idea of what to do and who to speak to. So that helped, get off the ground. But then that sort of all changed when we decided a few years ago to look at the US market and see what we could do here. So I didn't know anything about the US. So it was a completely new but exciting challenge to bring the products over here.
Awesome. It just keeps flashing. I'm an intuitive. You're going to have to excuse me. So sometimes I just go off it. I would never want any child to be without the childhood memory of eating Pringles like duck lips, right?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's a rite of passage. It's a rite of passage. And to have a healthy duck lip alternative for children to eat their crisps, I'm all for it.
No, it's true. There's all of those nostalgic memories that we have, absolutely, and that was right. You're right. The driving force behind this, it wasn't that I didn't like that idea or I loved those memories. It just how do I find something that sort of fits a bit better with what I like to choose? But the actual products themselves are fantastic. So yeah, you're exactly right.
I love it. And I'm finding that as people raise their consciousness and as people become more health conscious, they're embodying their best selves and everything. What like super tip do you have for any visionary like yourself who's looking around, seeing what tip do you have for
Yeah, I think
somebody who's going, wow, I wish I could do something like that?
Yeah, I think, I mean, for me, I think there's always thing is just get started. Like that's a really big part of it. We can be thinking about these ideas and trying to get them perfect and trying to sort of get it all there. But there are certainly ways to just get started and to test out your idea and just actually see if there's a market for it, if other people are thinking similar to you, or is it just you that has this problem, or how do you find people that also have that problem? So I think, thinking about things is great, and you need to put thought into it, but there comes to a point where you also need to get out there and actually start testing the idea, and it might not be perfect. I mean, our first packaging wasn't great, and I think we're up to our third revision now. We're always improving our flavors and our ingredients and selling into more areas. But we just got started. We started with a product and we sold it at a few local supermarkets in Australia and just got it out there. I went to a trade show here in the US and just put the products on the table and just sort of waited to see what people would say. So, I didn't sort of spend years trying to perfect it. We just sort of got out there and did it, and we learned as we went. So I think that's a really big part of sort of the journey, is taking the first step. And then I think something, I mean, this is unique to me, but I think it certainly helps is, if you've got an idea or you're trying to look for something, look in an area that you already have some experience or some expertise in. I found that's made it a lot easier, sort of not going into something totally new with a new idea and then starting to become a business person, which you may never have been before. So, trying to reduce as many of those unknowns as possible. So what is it in your circle of influence is a problem for you that you think you might be able to fix? I found has worked well.
Yeah, well, I love your story of working out your own food allergies, right? And
Yeah.
then just kind of looking around what's around you. I think you saw a need, you had an awareness, you saw a need, and what I love and I hear you saying is that you took action and you didn't care if it was perfect. You just got into action and learned about what you were doing as you were going. And I think that's kind of the key to life.
Yeah,
So,
it's true. It's very true. I mean, it's risky, it's scary, but that's sometimes the exciting things. And it's, well, how do I minimize those risks? What I'm not saying go and take your product to Walmart as the very first customer and make your mistakes there, but what can you do at a farmer's market? What can you do with your friends and family? What can you do there to try a few things out and see? That at least you're doing something.
wonderful. Well, Matt, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, reach out to you, or to get some of your products, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, so you can speak to me personally. LinkedIn's probably a great way. Matt Parry, Parry, at The Good Chris Company, or our website, thegoodchriscompany.com. That has a store locator, and you can find all of our products in the closest store to where people live.
Awesome. And of course, all of that information will be down in the show notes under this podcast. Matt, I've had a wonderful time touching base with you and hearing a little bit about your story. I hope those girls of yours enjoy their duck lips with their good crisps. And I am rooting for you as the underdog against the Pringles. I'm going to go out and get myself some good crisps now.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me on. It's been such fun to chat about it.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for leaning in. This has been Aeriol Asher and my special guest, Matt Parry. And until next time, happy healing.